None of these theories have been definitely proven to be false and checked off of 100% off the list of suspects, in my opinion. Remember, these are my opinions and not stated as fact. All these individuals are innocent until proven guilty, all alleged theories, and many of these individuals have been cleared by police. Do not harass these individuals. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not saying anyone is guilty or innocent. That is for a court of law to decide. Time will tell all. Let's take a look at Bryan Kohberger. Bryan is the main suspect as of right now, defendant and in custody. Is he just a psycho who wants to prove that he can and that he's smarter than police? Many people who gave interviews about him said he would always think he's smarter and state as such. Maybe he wanted to be with them, popular pretty girls. Maybe he had resentment. People have mentioned he could have been an involuntary celibate, which is aka incel, not able to get with those he is romantically interested in. Maybe he met them at the Mad Greek, where Xana and Maddie worked. He is a known vegan, and that's a vegan restaurant. Maybe it's drug-related. He has a prior drug use problem and addiction. Let's take a look at Jack Showalter, aka Hoodie Guy. Was there jealousy there? Maybe he liked one of the girls. He is a hunter and knows how to use a K-bar knife. He left for the cabin, his parents' cabin that was located in Boise 5 hours away, right after. Could have he been wearing hunting gear to explain blood on his person? He has also been photographed with a K-bar while he was hunting previously. Skinned animals and left them on doorsteps. That's why he was kicked out of the frat. Weird behavior at Grub Truck. He's distant from the girls. Was he their escort? Parents are doctors who donate generously to the U of I. There's that university connection again. Family is wealthy and has connections to protect him. He lawyered up really quickly and left the area right after, and he's rumored to be in Spain currently. Cleared within days, maybe too quickly. Was that who the Goncalves family was referring to? Has family in high places and comes from a very wealthy background, which can offer a level of protection. Let's take a look at the DoorDash driver. It would make sense why the white car is driving around, maybe getting lost of where the house is located. The house is mentioned many different ways throughout this case, Queen Street, King Street, but it's actually on Queen Road. JLR investigates, supposedly had someone go into the local Jack in the Box where Xana ordered from that night. Only one location in Pullman, and spoke to the workers there. They stated it was a female with black hair who picked up the order. Could this have been Emma Bailey? They came forward on their own. Police didn't go looking for them. They were then cleared by police. Was there actually one, or was this a falsehood? Could there have been more than one person in the car? The next theory, let's look at a random person who could have done this. Could this have been someone or more than one person they do not know for any reason? Just a psycho killer with no rhyme or reason who could have done this? Let's look at a stalker or obsessed person theory. Kaylee said she had a stalker, but any of them could have. Police said they couldn't find anything to substantiate this claim, but we know that they didn't find the grub truck footage and have made misstatements such as the time of the murder or where the surviving roommates were located at the time of the murders, so maybe they didn't look hard enough. This would be someone obsessed with one or more of the victims. Now let's look at the surviving roommates as a whole. Dylan and Bethany never called for 8 hours. This is the biggest item that hasn't been explained yet. And when Chief Fry was asked, he said that they didn't know why there was a delay. Supposedly they were texting during the murders, but what about? There's little insulation during demo scene coming out of the home. Therefore, they probably heard something. Sound would travel and still didn't call. Maybe they knew of a shakedown via drug theory, WSU Kim Mom said. Dylan and PCA, she's more in there than Bethany, but why? Bethany has exculpatory evidence for Bryan. Is that why she's hidden more? Private investigator for the defense stated in a statement that Bethany found the Barleys, but the way he said it was really misconstrued and unclear. Is she the one who passed out? Were either of them even home? Did they come upon the scene and faint and the intruder story is completely made up? If they were guys, would they be treated the same? Why are they not charged with failure to notify? Called friends before police? This is so bizarre. Why would you call friends? Supposedly frats and sororities knew early on via Snapchat combos and were there before the police. Now let's look at each individually. Dylan Mortensen. This was her at Halloween after the murders. Dylan didn't call for 8 hours, but saw someone, so why wouldn't you call? Mother is an attorney. Is she being protected? Stepmother works for the state of Idaho. Is that convenient? Same high school as Jack S., which close ties to another person from that night who's also a possibility. Friends with Emma Bailey, which close drug ties. Left school, now a gamer, and getting therapy. But she partied the following Halloween. Kind of weird and maybe too soon. Asked Kaylee to come back for her +1. Why? She couldn't ask someone else? Mask photo in what looks like Ethan's Jeep. Why? Why were they wearing masks? Were her and Bethany informants and watching the victims? Is that how they know when they got home? Texting that night and posted a photo on social media supposedly around the same time as the murders, showing she was awake during that time. Now let's look at the other roommate, Bethany Funk. Bethany knew the time Ethan and Xana got home. Was she watching them? Did she see them get home? Did she talk to them? She didn't call for 8 hours either. Why? Supposedly had exculpatory evidence for Bryan. What could it be? Not mentioned in PCA very much. Why? Wearing Vans shoes in the noise complaint video, same shoe for the type of the latent print found at the scene. Lied to police during noise complaint about being a resident. Shows she is not afraid to lie to law enforcement. Texting at the time of the murders, showing she was awake also and didn't call police. Jack DuCoeur, the ex-boyfriend of Kaylee Goncalves. Kaylee and him broke up a few weeks prior to the murders. They dated for 5 years. The girls called multiple times that night of the murders, but he didn't answer. Not even a call back the next morning. Why? Did he try calling them back and we just haven't been told of that? He lived close to the scene of the crime. Never spoke at the funeral. Why? Family doesn't think he did it. Supposedly they made him show his body and any marks and took pictures, and he has been cleared by police since then. Maybe he was jealous that Kaylee was leaving and taking their dog Murphy with them. Was at the corner club, but never stated by police he was. Why? Now let's look at Moscow PD and law enforcement in general. This is a picture of that officer taking a picture of Kaylee's ID. Why? Police have been shady the entire time, and they have gotten many details wrong. Only knife sheath at the scene to connect Bryan. Was it placed there? Police taking pictures of IDs, Kaylee's during noise complaint. Fry retiring early. Why? When this case hasn't gone to trial and he stated in a press conference they were going to see this through, but then he leaves early? Law enforcement emptied drinks on the noise complaint body cam footage. They called it abandoned property, but they were on private property and destroying private property and searching unlawfully as the backpack was left on the property, which you can see he has to unzip it, and it wasn't open for them in view in plain sight, which is a Fourth Amendment violation. There's no PP&E going in and out of the crime scene or at Bryan's apartment. Maybe there's cross-contamination. Apparently law enforcement didn't check trash because Kaylee's parents received her belongings and her trash can was full, and it hadn't been gone through, her mom said. So how good of an investigation did they actually do? There was the trash by the back door as well outside that was full and had never been gone through. The officer made the back staircase comment that there was lacking one in the noise complaint body cam video, which was odd. They let Bryan drive across country. Why not pull him in for a DNA sample voluntarily to compare? They won't provide the necessary discovery to Anne. There's been many requests and saying that they don't have it. Are they going to be proven false in court, maybe? Kaylee's noise complaint didn't knock on front door but claims that they do, if you watch that back, which shows that they easily lie. The mentioned queen address is mentioned multiple times in body cams. Maddie even confirms queen address, yet they refer to it as king. Why? And the weird stop conveniently across the way on Banfield by law enforcement the night of the murders. They didn't stop the 4 people running by on the body cam footage, but gave tickets to kids that looked sober. Why were they in plain clothes and in a car near where Maddie's potential jacket was left? It's just odd behavior. Was this all staged? Let's move on to Sigma Chi and the frats and sororities as a whole. Now, this is David Loach and Barry Barakoa mentioned in the 4chan theory. None of the sororities and fraternities have talked. Could it have been a ritual sacrifice? We know that the Chapin family received scholarships, sweetheart status, wrote books, went to CrimeCon, met celebrities. They are always singing the praise of the university and let the kids still attend afterwards. The rumored fight between David Loach and Ethan the night of the murders, Maddie insulted David Loach at a party previously as well. Could this be motive? David Barry or Barakoa and David Loach mentioned in 4chan the combo as a theory. Jealousy maybe? K-bar knife and photo from the frats? Hannah Cleary, February 2022 death of the 6th roommate. Maddie was mentioned as a potential bully. There's an internal code to call the frats or sororities when a death occurs, but before family, and even law enforcement. They're backed by the university. All law enforcement, attorney, coroner, judge are Greek U of I grads. There's too many close ties to this university. Last place Ethan and Xana were seen was at a frat party at Sigma Chi. Dylan and Bethany are the inside informants. They called fraternity over before police. The 4 people running from the direction of the house seen in the body cam footage. Was the 4chan combo right? The WSU Kim mom said that sorority and frats knew before police because there were Snapchat conversations going on, according to her daughter. Joseph Wiederick and Hudson Lindau, both by Bridges and died mysteriously, ruled out very quickly as accidental deaths. And there's many more deaths affiliated with Greek Row. Now let's move on to the drug cartel theory. This is a known party house. There's a spare room on the first floor. Was it being used for drug storage? There's a secret latch in that room. Where does that go? Dylan's friends with Emma Bailey, who has close ties to the drug world. Parents of victims have known drug charges. Could there be retaliation for them? Or retaliation for something rumored that Maddie did, which was flush drugs? They are going to get you, Maddie, statement by Jack S. What did he mean by this? Who's they? Maddie told Adam everything. What did she tell Adam? The Goncalves family said it was about Jack and Kaylee getting back together. Is this the real reason or something else? There's a large drug bust in the area shortly after these murders. Were they connected? Now let's look at Emma Bailey and Demetrius Robinson. These two have previously been involved with a death of another student of U of I. They're related to the drug world and they're friends with Dylan Mortensen. Could this be the connection? Or was she the DoorDash driver? Now let's look at the private driver theory. Eric Gower or Eric Grower in the PCA. Is this a typo or someone else? Why is a grown married man, wife was pregnant at the time, driving and picking up college-aged kids late at night, specifically girls for free? His wife works at the Moscow PD. Is this an insider with this case? Weird Pinterest apparently had a lot of machete-type knives similar to the murder weapon pinned on there. Athletic build similar to what stated in the PCA. Goncalves family said it's a family friend and they don't believe he did it. He supposedly led the PD to the Hyundai Elantra and the grub truck footage. Was he too involved? Why insert himself so much? Guilt, maybe? Now let's move on to the U of I and President Scott Green. The U of I has stated that they get 70% of the funding from Greek life and that the community relies heavily on student population in the university to survive. Motive, maybe to cover this up. Scott Green wrote a book on this case. He was privy to police updates multiple times a day at the beginning of this case, but why? He's the president of a school. Wouldn't he be bound by the gag order as well then? Instead, he profits off the tragedy by writing a book. He's a known billionaire, and money hushes up a lot of things and can make things disappear. Why take a position at a U of I when he had a successful career? 1122 Queen Road is his childhood home. His current president residence has direct eye-line sight to the murder home, which is a bit creepy. He also allowed the home to be torn down before trial. Why? Why did the landlords donate a multi-million-dollar property to the university in the first place? The purchase of the University of Phoenix, is that money laundering? It was done in a backroom deal. There's supposedly a steam tunnel system under the university and around the town. Possible getaway route? Who knows? Now let's look at the landlords of 1122 Queen Road. They have a shady past, or at least one of them does, to say the least. They donated the home to the university. Why? What was their motive to do this? Allowed the home to be torn down. Dan Estes is the 1122 King LLC, and Scott Perkey was a registered sex offender. Why is a known offender allowed to own homes kids will be living in? Money laundering, buying student housing and cleaning drug money, trafficking in homes, secret latch in the home on the first floor was used for what? They previously owned the car that was found burned in Eugene, Oregon, which was also a white Hyundai Elantra as well. Hayden Villa was seen on the grub truck photo. He has the long hair in the grub truck video with a sweater on. At the grub truck with the girls the night of the murder. He was supposedly had a bump on his head after that. Big into UFC. There was supposedly a pay-per-view fight the night of 11/12. That's all theory, and we don't know that for a fact. He was also from St. Maries, Idaho, same as the lead investigator, Brett Payne. So there's another connection to this case. Now let's move on to Enan Harsh. He was that weird neighbor that kept giving interviews. Why was he inserting himself so much? He's the neighbor of the kids, came forward, but his stories kept changing multiple times. Either a look-alike or he was at the grub truck that night of the murders. Is there a drug relationship? Was he obsessed with one of the victims? He did have an odd character, and he definitely gave off a weird vibe. Saeed Sheikh Ali. He was the one with the bushy eyebrows that was seen in the Banfield video body cam. He was stopped on the Banfield body cam footage carrying alcohol, was 21 at the time, very bushy eyebrows, which matches the PCA description of the intruder, and popped out of nowhere in the body cam footage. Was he a part of a staged operation? These are my notes of everyone I saw involved the night around the victims. All possibilities. Not all these individuals have been cleared by police, but from what we've seen, and with Bryan's case, could law enforcement be wrong? Could law enforcement be involved? I don't believe the PCA at all, and anything is possible. If I missed anything, feel free to leave a comment, but be kind or it will be deleted.